Hey guys, it's Jennifer with the Family Fudge, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you my favorite make-ahead breakfast recipes. Now you guys know I love to make fun lunches, but breakfast is another story. Morning time around our house can get crazy with all the kids I have to get ready and everything I have to do. I want breakfast to be easy, so I try to make it ahead if I can. Now since I've shared so many breakfast recipes on this channel before, I thought it would be a great idea to have all of my most favorite recipes all in one place for you guys.
My version of this breakfast casserole is especially quick and easy because you don't have to pre-cook any of the meat or chop any vegetables. Here's what you're going to need. I'm going to use about a 1 pound bag of O'Brien potatoes. They already have onions and peppers in the bag. I'm also going to be using 12 eggs, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, 1 cup of milk, about 2 cups of pre-cooked ham steak, which I'm going to cube, and then I'm also going to be using some lean turkey sausage. Now these are fully cooked and I'm going to slice them thin. You're also going to want some salt and pepper to taste. Next, I'm going to cube up my ham and slice up my turkey sausage. And now it's time for the eggs. I'm going to go ahead and crack all 12 eggs, add my milk, my salt and pepper, and whisk it up. Give your crock pot a good spray so that nothing sticks. And then it's just as easy as dumping everything into your crock pot. I'm gonna start with my potatoes, add my meat, half of my cheese, and then my egg mixture. I'm gonna stir it all up, put the lid on, and cook it on low for about 6 hours. Now some crock pots may cook faster and some slower, so definitely check it if you can. But I'm actually gonna cook mine overnight. But be prepared, if you cook this, when you wake up in the morning, your house is gonna smell so good. Now when we're ready to dig in, all you have to do is take a big scoop of the casserole. My kids really like to put ketchup on it and then dig right in. Now this casserole makes a lot, so I'm actually gonna use whatever's left over and throw it into our next make-ahead breakfast burritos. These breakfast burritos are so easy. I'm gonna start with my tortilla, put a scoop of my casserole, I'm gonna add more cheese and some salsa and wrap it up. Now these burritos could actually go in the freezer and become a freezer meal if you prefer, but I'm just gonna keep mine in the fridge and we'll eat them over the next couple of days. When I want to reheat these burritos, I'll just wrap them in a paper towel and stick them in the microwave for about a minute. Hi guys, today I'm going to be throwing together some quick and easy protein balls. For these protein balls, I started by adding 1 cup of quick cooking oats. And then I added about half a cup of shredded coconut and half a cup of mini chocolate chips. I really like the mini ones in this dish, in these balls, because they're easier to bite into. The next thing we're going to add is this protein powder. So I'm just gonna add 1 scoop of this protein powder, which is about 1 ounce. And then I'm gonna be adding about 1 tablespoon of some ground flaxseed meal. And then this next part is totally optional. You don't have to put this if you don't want to, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a half a tablespoon of brewer's yeast. This is perfect for those nursing mamas out there. Okay, next comes the sticky part. Peanut butter is up next. I'm gonna go ahead and add about half a cup of peanut butter. You could use creamy peanut butter if you prefer. Then I'm gonna add half a cup of honey. All right, now I'm gonna stir to combine. All right, I've got that all mixed up there. Now you want this dough to form a ball. So if it's too dry, maybe add a little bit more peanut butter. If it's too wet, maybe add a little bit more oats. So we're just gonna make little balls, just like that. You could use a cookie scoop if you want to make sure that they're even. All right, there they are. Now, like I said, I'm taking these on a road trip, so I'm gonna package them up and keep them in my little ice chest that goes with me in the car. But if you wanted to keep these in your refrigerator, they would last a lot longer. All right, there you have it. I'm gonna start with the croissant sandwiches first. You're gonna want about 10 to 12 eggs. Pre-sliced medium cheddar cheese makes this so quick and easy. 12 croissants. I like these ones from Costco. And ranch powder. I know that sounds a little strange, but trust me, it really makes this dish so delicious. In the ranch powder, you have things like onion, garlic, herbs, some salt in there. Trust me, it is really good. I'm going to be using some honey ham. This is just regular deli ham. You can use any kind you prefer. I'm also going to be throwing in about a handful of fresh baby spinach. You can add salt and pepper to taste, and your cooking spray. You definitely want the cooking spray. Now let's get started. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. And now it's time to get cracking. Now I forgot to mention earlier, you're gonna want a 1/4 cup of milk, and you're gonna add that to your eggs. This is gonna make our eggs light and fluffy. Then comes the ranch powder. I'm gonna be using 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of dry ranch powder. Now if you don't have this big container from Costco, you could just use 1 regular envelope package of Hidden Valley Ranch. And now you just want to whisk it up really well. Now don't forget this next step. Spray your pan. This is a 9x13 baking dish, and I'm going to spray it really well with my non-stick spray. Then pour my eggs right in there. Next, I'm going to take about 1/2 cup of my fresh baby spinach, and I'm just going to tear it up with my fingers. I don't have to chop it finely at all, and just throw it in there. Now you could omit the spinach, but I like to add a little bit of vegetables in with this, and trust me, you don't really taste it at all. This is a great way to hide your veggies for those picky eaters. And now I'm just going to give a few shakes of pepper. Like I said, I'm not going to add any more salt to this, and I'm going to put it in my oven for about 20 minutes or until it is cooked through. Alright, after 20 minutes I removed it from the oven and I let it cool down. That part is important. I'm going to take all of my croissants and gently slice them. But I'm not going to slice all the way through. I'm going to keep the little ends hinged together. Then I'm going to cut my eggs into 12 kind of a rectangle shape piece. And that's going to fit really well inside of our croissants. Also, to make this really easy, I'm going to be using these foil squares that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by laying my foil down. On top of my foil, I'm going to place my croissant. Next comes the cheese. I'm going to take this 1 slice of cheese, fold it in half, and I'm going to lay 1 piece of cheese down on my croissant. Next comes the little rectangle of eggs, and then 1 or 2 slices of ham, depending on how much you like it, and then the next piece of cheese. And I like to do the cheese this way because when you reheat the sandwich, the cheese kind of acts like a glue to keep the sandwich together. Now I'm actually going to cut these in half before I wrap them up for 2 reasons. Number 1, it helps it reheat more evenly, especially in the center of the sandwich. And also for my kids, I have younger kids and they will actually share 1 croissant. Now I'm just going to wrap it up nice and tight. And then I'm going to repeat this process with all of my sandwiches. Cheese, egg, ham, the rest of my cheese, cut it in half, and wrap her up. Now to store these in the freezer, I'm just going to take a white bin that I found at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to line up my sandwiches. These little plastic bins fit perfectly in my freezer. Next, you're going to want to label them. I'm just going to write what they are and the date. I also found these cute labels at the Dollar Tree. Stick that on there, and we can move on to the next sandwich. For our English muffin breakfast sandwiches, I'm going to start by cooking 1 pound of lean turkey breakfast sausage. But you can use any sausage you prefer, and then I'm going to crack a dozen eggs. To this, I'm going to be adding a 1/4 cup of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And of course, you can add as much salt and pepper as you prefer. And then you're just going to want to whisk this all together. I'm going to grab my other 9x13 pan, and I'm going to spray it really well so that the eggs do not stick. My eggs will go in the pan, and my oven is still on at 350. And now for the hidden veggie part. I'm going to take about 1/2 cup of my clean and dry baby spinach, and I'm just going to tear it in just like we did with the first sandwich. And trust me, you do not even taste the spinach with all the sausage and cheese. Now I'm going to add my cooked turkey sausage. I'm just going to get that all in there and give it a stir, and then it can go in the oven. Now this one's going to take a little bit longer. This is gonna take about 30 minutes. Once your eggs are done, you can start building your sandwiches. I have 12 English muffins here, and these are just regular English muffins. You can use any kind you prefer, and you're gonna wanna make sure that they're all split open. When I was making my croissant sandwiches, I cut my eggs into rectangles, but for my English muffins, I'm gonna cut them into squares. And I find that the squares will fit on my English muffins a lot better. Now, just like the croissant sandwiches, I'm gonna start with my aluminum foil, then my English muffin, half of my cheese, then my egg, the other part of my cheese, and then the rest of my English muffin. And then you just wrap it up. And now you just repeat the process. Just like our other sandwich, I like to have the cheese on both ends because as the sandwich is reheating, the cheese is gonna act like glue to keep our sandwich together. I'm gonna be sure to label this with the date and what is in these sandwiches. And then I'm gonna get all of my sandwiches into my cute little storage bin from the Dollar Tree, of course. And I'm gonna store them in the freezer just like that. Now when it comes to reheating these, you have several options. You could defrost it in your fridge overnight. You could reheat it in the toaster oven or even in the microwave. If you want to use your microwave, you're going to want to obviously remove the foil, and then I'm going to wrap my sandwich in a paper towel, and then I'm going to microwave it for about 1 minute. Check it after 1 minute. You may want to add about 30 more seconds. And here you go. To reheat your English muffin sandwiches, it's basically the same idea. You can use the microwave, you can use a toaster oven, whichever you prefer. And there we have it. Gooey, cheesy, yummy breakfast sandwiches. Next up, I'm going to be making some overnight oats. There are so many varieties of overnight oats that you can make, but today I'm making a peanut butter chocolate version. You're gonna start with half a cup of rolled oats, a third cup of plain Greek yogurt, 2/3 cup of unsweetened milk of your choice. Now I'm using almond milk. You're also gonna need half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, a pinch of salt, and a sweetener if you prefer. You could use honey or maple syrup, whatever you'd like. This part is optional, but I'm gonna throw in some ground flax meal. And now basically you just add everything to a bowl and mix it up. I have my oatmeal, I'm gonna add my Greek yogurt, my almond milk, the vanilla extract, peanut butter, unsweetened cocoa powder, my salt, and my honey, and my ground flax meal. Then you just give it a big stir. Now before I fill up my cups, I always wanna give it a taste and make sure it's sweet enough because I don't wanna add too much sugar, but if it's too tart and bitter, my kids won't eat it. So definitely give it a taste and see if you wanna tweak it a little bit. You may wanna add a little bit more honey, you may wanna add a little bit more cocoa or peanut butter. It's totally to your liking. Once you have it tasting like you like it, then it's time to fill up your jars. For my husband and for myself, I'm using a larger glass mason jar, but for my kids, I'm using a smaller plastic mason jar that's meant for jam. Then it's time to fill up your jars. You're gonna screw on the lid and pop it into your fridge. And then in the morning, you're gonna have a creamy, thick, delicious chocolate peanut butter oatmeal. Now, I actually prefer to eat this cold, but if you have it in a glass jar, you could definitely heat it up in the microwave. Now, lastly, I'm sharing one of my favorite make-ahead breakfasts, and that is a fruit and yogurt granola parfait. Here's what you're going to need. Some blueberries, some strawberries. For my yogurt, I'm using this non-fat Greek style because that's what I have on hand, but you can use any you prefer. I'm also gonna be using some honey to sweeten it up and some vanilla extract and the granola. This one is so easy, you're going to love it. After I've washed my berries, I'm gonna go ahead and slice up my strawberries. Then I'm gonna mix up my yogurt. To my plain Greek yogurt, I'm going to add my honey and my vanilla extract and mix it up. But definitely give your yogurt a taste to make sure you have enough sweetener. And now it's time to build the parfait. I'm gonna use 4 of these really cute glass mason jars. To the bottom, I'm gonna add some yogurt. then a layer of strawberries, and some granola. Then I'm gonna add some more yogurt, some blueberries, and some more granola. But you can layer this however you like. And if you prefer, you could add your granola in the morning. That way it'll be the most crisp. Now I just put the lids on all of my jars and stick them in the fridge. When we're ready to enjoy them, you just pop off the lid and dig in.